Obi-Wan. Okay, let's try e4. Obi-Wan Benoni. Funny name. Okay, the Nimzowitsch defense. He plays with d4. You can play with, d5. You can play with either d5 or e5. In this defense, they're both good for white, although not losing, so no reason to get overconfident here, but white just has a comfortable position with more space. So he's playing this kind of like a French defense, getting the, or a Caro-Kann maybe, getting the bishop outside the pawn chain, but with the knight here. Let's see, so I'm thinking about c3 to keep his knight from coming into this square, and coordinating with the bishop. I mean, the bishop and the knight, you always got to watch out for that combination of hitting c2 there. Then just normal development. Treat this like a Caro-Kann advance variation, where he's played the knight on c6 instead of the pawn to c6. And see what he has to do. I mean, I don't know if that knight has so many great squares to go to from c6. Now that I have this pawn chain and he's blocked the c-pawn, so he can't really undermine it. He could go to a5. I could play b3 to stop him from coming into c4. Then he could play c5. So maybe I want to play bishop to e3 next. If he doesn't go for some immediately active continuation, bishop to e3 would just kind of put some extra force on the c5 square, so sort of to discourage c5 later. Or I could just play bishop e2, develop this. I developed the bishop to, developing the bishop to b5 looks interesting as well. If he kicks it, I drop back. Kicks it again, I'll come over here. And he'll have this backward c-pawn and a loose knight. And I'll be trading off this dark squared, or his light squared bishop, which he got outside the pawn chain. Yeah, and it prepares castling for me. I think it looks interesting. He doesn't have to kick the bishop. He can just sit on this position for a while like that. But he chose to kick it. Yeah, I thought he might. I mean, there's a certain logic to that. If he never moves the knight, then my pawn chain on the queen side is pretty secure, and I can just castle king side and develop my pieces and start a king side attack. Yeah, so he pushes. And that's my idea, just offer to trade that light squared bishop. I can force a trade by playing knight h... No, I can't play that. His queen is guarding h4. Got to be a little careful there. Okay, so he's going to hop into this square. Looks good, so let's keep him out of that square. And then he plays the c-pawn forward. Yeah, so that sequence I was sort of expecting. So now if I play my bishop to e3 here, he can take with the pawn. Yeah, I think that's still good. I want to keep a strong center. And if he doesn't take, then I can take and grab a pawn. I'll have a weak center, but I'll have a pawn for the moment. There we go. Now he can force me to trade. He can take, he can play rook to c1, or c8, rook c8, and that kind of forces me to take his bishop. He castles, he checks first, okay. Should I block with the bishop? Yeah, I think so, actually. And my pawns are all defended. The bishop is no longer needed on that square. Now I can take back with either the knight or the queen. So the question is whether the knight wants to go to c3 or if it's happy on d2. c3, I think from c3 it gets over to the king side a little quicker. Also, if he pushes a pawn forward, it can go to c5. Let's see, from here, it doesn't have as many good squares. So let's take with the queen. Gets the queen off the back rank. And it's just castle. Let's see. So I have to be a little careful about moves like knight c3. Okay, so he's going to force me to exchange. Have to be a little careful about moves like knight c3 here because of the rook pressure, but it looks like this is okay now. So we have a game with two knights and a symmetric pawn structure and an open c-file. So I didn't get much of an advantage here, I don't think. So probably I could have played better somewhere along the way because this is really not such a great opening for black. This knight's a little bit loose there, but I don't see how to increase the pressure. It was always defended by the queen. Yeah, so he's going to pile up on my e-pawn, which is going to be easy enough to defend. Let's kick his knight now. Now that he's castled. Where can the knight run to? Can't go here or here. Could come forward. No, I can't go there, 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 there. So it goes back to... his knight runs to e7. Yeah, I really don't see an option. See, wondering if there's some kind of weird... he's got that counter tactic. Okay, so, but that's still defended. So I can go here and hit his queen, and now he's got two pieces hanging. I can trade rooks, but I don't see how he's going to survive this without loss of material. So... yeah, after the queen moves, I can just take the knight. I mean, my position is a little ugly, but I'm a piece up, so can't be all that bad. I guess my knight is loose. I was just wondering, does he have any counterattacking targets? But I don't see any way for him to put pressure on it. So he gives up the knight that way. Okay, let's take it. Yeah, that's kind of clever, isn't it? If I take his queen, he can take my knight with check and then take my queen. So I have to take the knight. So it's like one last little trick in case I had pre-moved knight takes queen. Ah, yes, fine from YouTube. Yeah, so he just made one mistake, and I think it went downhill from there. Anyway, I will upload this and do a post-mortem. And thanks for the game. Bye-bye.